the stream. Wait. There we go. Alright, we are live. Welcome back to the TUX Show, where we talk about the video game industry and other stuff. So, this is live on, I think it's live on Twitch and YouTube. I think it is. I don't know. We'll just see. But, yeah, so our first topic of the day is the PS5 worth it? So, we're just going to discuss that for a little bit. So, I personally have used a PS5 before, and it's a smooth experience, and I've also used a PS4, and you frequently use a PS4. So,
yeah, I definitely have a lot to say. I would say I have a lot to say about this topic.
Yeah. So, I think I'll start by saying, it's a little bit of a complicated thing because a lot of people have awaited the release of the PS5, which was released last year or something. I don't know, but we're really gonna get down to is it worth what you're paying for it? And this is as for used and just buying it directly from PlayStation.
Okay. Can I go first?
Yep.
I think that the PS5 is not worth it. I played on a PS5, and basically PS4. We've been awaiting. See, the PS4 was really big, so we've basically been awaiting PS5 for so long, and now that it's came out, well, really, PS4 wasn't anticipating how fast it would grow, so there are problems with it. Some of them are rushed. There when they were selling, there wasn't as many in stock as PS4 wanted. So when they released, and so basically they're still making them, and they're really hard to make. So I think it's costing money out of their pocket. But yeah. So back to the actual thing, I think it's not worth it because I have a PS4. I played on the PS5. It's basically the same thing, but just better in every way. But it's really expensive, and it's, I mean, kind of just overrated, in my opinion.
So spec-wise and performance-wise, as far as I've seen, the PS5 is better at pretty much everything, and it's it really outperforms the PS4. But as a machine built for playing video games, it's really about how much better is the PS5 than the PS4, and do you need a PS5 to play the newer games? And I really think that you kind of don't, because the PS4 is a pretty solid machine, even though the PS5 is really, really good. Especially the touchpad controllers; those are pretty good game controllers. But I think it really depends on if they're both in your budget, which one should you get? Unless you're rich and your budget is always whatever you want.
My opinion, PS4 is at an all-time low right now. So my opinion would be to buy the PS4, just because it's kind of it's really just it comes down to expenses with these consoles. And so the PS4 games are still being put on the PS4. It's not, the PS4 is not ended like the PS3 and the PS2. The PS4 continues to work, and you can still play games on it, and its games are still being released on it, so it's technically still updated. So in my opinion, PS4 right now is probably one of the best consoles, or the most affordable console that's pretty good out there.
Yeah, but I think it really comes down to are you getting kind of stopped with the limited performance of the PS4, or can you really get by with that? So I think that for the games that you're playing, if you just want to just play games, then the PS4 is pretty good for that. So is the PS5 though. But if you just want to casually play games, then it can certainly accommodate for that. But the PS5 is just sort of the rich man's solution to basically having everything like accessible to you without having to be like, oh, is it good enough? So, I mean, it's really about if you're just like more technical and you're like willing to like take that sacrifice to like maybe not being able to play new games that come out, even though right now basically you can play almost any game available on PlayStation 5 on the PlayStation 4 except for the proprietary games that they released for PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
And those games suck.
Yeah, I know. I actually was looking forward to playing Gotham Knights, which is like I've been really looking forward to it, but it was only released on the PlayStation 5, and in my opinion, I think that's kind of bullshit. But
Mm-hmm.
I really think that the PS5 is too expensive, and just for like a couple games that you're limited that you can get is I just think it's kind of dumb in my opinion. But yeah. So just I think we can end this with I agree with buying a PS4 and a PS5 is not worth it, hands down.
But it really comes down to like, do you want to be guaranteed the ability to play the games in the future, or are you just content with like maybe you'll be able to play those games and maybe not? And I personally think that like, yeah, like the PS4 will probably be supported for a long time. I don't think that Sony would really take the risk of stopping PlayStation 4s to be supported anytime soon. Maybe sometime beyond the next like 2 years or so. But until then, I'm pretty sure that PS5 is PS4 is really your best bet for playing games. Um, our next topic is sorry, one moment. How do really specific kinds of games make money? Specifically, like as we all know, like some games have ads, but a lot don't. Especially really fun AAA games, like let's say, for example, maybe Halo or like Elden Ring or Stray. Always comes back to those two. But really, like, how do huge game companies afford to make these amazing games, but then not have ads? And some of them don't have in-app purchases, but I mean, Halo does, and they have the campaigns and stuff. But for games that are just like Elden Ring or
Hey,
Dark Souls games, how would they make money? So this isn't really like a discussion section. This is
discussion
really
is more
just
of
an
like more of
informative
an
section.
informative
Yeah.
study. All right. You can go first since I went first last time.
So some of the ways that games make money is just like Steam, for example. You can sort of like sell your game for purchase, and sometimes they just give you like a ton of money and then that's it. But then sometimes they keep paying you like a portion of the money that they get from selling them. They also can make money from just selling the game in general, especially if they put it on console, which they just sell like the game. Um, there's a lot of other ways too, but like as far as like advertising goes, it really depends for some game developers if they're really willing to take the risk on those kind of games. And specifically for indie games as well. Like these games don't have ads. I mean, not usually, but they're made by very small companies which take a lot of time to make, and usually these games like don't make that much money because no one really knows of the developers. So that's really what we're kind of diving into today. How did those games make money? And
Yeah,
not like the ones that took off.
I think you're right with indie games. They really don't. The reason they're indie is because they don't make big money. You get what I'm saying? And they're not the most professional of games. But I think you're right about the console. That really like, if you're gonna sell a game on console, it's gonna be a huge jump for an indie company because if you're like if you put it on Steam, then it's all great and it's for just for PC. But if you put it on console, you have to worry about um your ratio of buying and how much it costs to make the CD and all of those struggles. And I think that for indie games, like I'm just going to use Stray for example. Um, for indie games like Stray, uh, when they released it on PC on Steam, it went crazy, and so then they released it on console, and it didn't do the best it could possibly.
Personally, I think Stray is like easier to learn the controls on console, but I don't know. Um, but sometimes for these games, sometimes it could just be like a project that people work on that they don't really intend to make a profit, but really the main profits are from selling the games to sellers like Steam, and some of it is from actually like making doing Kickstarters and stuff like that, so that you can kind of encourage your audience to just give you stuff, the resources you need to like further develop the game. But you're not still not really getting that much from the Kickstarter backers.
Yeah, I think
Well,
with console, when you see PS4 is different, so you don't have to buy the CD in person. You can also buy it on their online shop, and I think that especially with indie games, the way they mostly just make money is that they sell it to the company. Like this, they will sell it to Sony, and Sony will put it um, on their the shop. And I think that's all the ways that I know of how to make money uh, as a video game, how to make video game money. But you might know more, so I'm just gonna let you continue.
really, like what you can do if you really appreciate like an indie game is just like buy it a lot, or they also make merch sometimes, specifically Hollow Knight merch. I got this one. It's awesome. But Hollow Knight isn't a great example because it's a successful indie game. But yeah, really, these kind of indie games really need. They don't really make as much money as bigger games, which will also lead us into our next topic: why EA sucks.
Okay. Um, I'd like to start this one out because I have lots to say about EA. I'm gonna split mine down into three parts. All right. Number one, EA has made two great things: Battlefront One and Battlefront Two. Those are the only two games that I play like on a daily basis from EA, or not daily, but like a monthly basis. I like those games, but I just wanted to point it out there. Like I don't totally hate EA. I really like the Battlefront games. I'm just gonna put that out there. And then now, second, EA is very corrupt, and they really dominate and don't leave much space for other sports games. So what they've been doing is um, they've been creating this monopoly on, or they've been kind of just like using this monopoly on how young boys, especially, I'm 100% sure that is their target
Specifically,
demographic.
rich white ones.
Oh yeah, rich white young boys, basically.
I have not met a single rich white young boy who does not own like an Xbox and does not own at least one Madden or FIFA game.
Yeah. See, the thing is, they started out with Madden in like the '90s, and then it hit off because all the young white boys from like the ages of I don't know, like 8 to like 14 loved it, and they were obsessed with it, and so those little boys have become men, and they keep buying and buying these games, and then they tell their children to buy these games, and so the thing is, it really all goes back to the stereotype where men have to like sports and they have to compete, you know, to like they have to compete in sports and give it their all. And so I think that 2K, the 2K games and everything that
I
like
think
Matt,
2K is a little bit better because they kind of like I think specifically because of their trade practices.
yeah,
Um like they don't like just do stuff. I just don't like EA because they also have a lot of like server based stuff. So they just like they save money by not like letting people in like other countries play games like that are based around like a specific industry,
Or
like maybe like the American football industry. You couldn't buy like that game like anywhere else but in America,
yeah, the thing with
just because they
me,
want to save money with cloud storage. So they make other
I
games
get
like
that
that.
EA. That was my third part of my statement is that EA definitely likes to hold back their games for Americans and not for like a lot of the world, and they really just want to save money, and it's mostly just like greed and corruption in the company. Um, but yeah, that's all I have to say about the subject. Thank you.
I have a couple other things to say as well. Really, EA is just they do kind of just feed off of that because just it's like they make like kind of simple games that like really have like the target audience that's like they have a target audience that's really narrow, and that target audience they really try to hit pretty hard on. And I just really don't like their especially like their trade agreements. Like I think they like bought Battlefront, and they like also just like kind of just try to like get into these things that just only to like try to like increase their target audience, which is just like young people, so that they can like make like these people who remember playing these games, and then when they realize that they're still in business, they'll just like go back and get more. And really like a big game company is just really just not great. They also use like the same engine for like their 3D games, which is just I think kind of lazy. Um, it's just not like the kind of thing that like it it's made for people to enjoy, but it's just not it's just like the way they kind of advertise themselves and put themselves out into the world. It's not really what people would appreciate if they look back and look at what this company's doing. So our next topic is like maybe telling you a little bit more about like this series, what we're doing, like really what else is like going to be happening on the two channels and stuff like that. So really this series is sort of supposed to be like a podcast that we do like pretty often. We're friends, so we just like kind of just make these podcasts for fun, but yeah, so this is just sort of like a collaboration that we're just going to be live streaming, so that if you need to like hear some opinions about like specific things, you could also just like put in the comments like what you want us to hear or what you want us to talk about. Um, um, yeah, I think we should also tell you like a little bit about ourselves so you can kind of know like what we do and what we just like also stuff that for like online stuff specifically. My friend here is Twitch, which they're pushing me really hard to advertise. So go ahead and do your Twitch channel advertisement.
Well, my yeah. So I stream on Twitch. I don't have any YouTube videos because I can't really edit anything because I don't have a good computer. But yeah. If you look at my bio, it's Phoenix Gameplay 5513. That is my Twitch account. I stream every night or so. Um, and so yeah, like with the future of this podcast, we really just want to talk about games and video games in the community, and we might have a couple gameplay videos with each other outside of this podcast or in this podcast. We really don't know. So yeah, like he said, if you just want to uh, give us any, then that'd be perfect.
Yeah, your feedback really counts, especially for scripting these kind of, not scripting, but like really like laying out the topics for each one. Cause yeah, um, I've been doing YouTube for like a month now, like actually uploading stuff. I've probably gonna start streaming on Twitch. Kind of what I do besides that is I just like I kind of build computers and retail them. That's kind of what I do before like I started doing YouTube and stuff like that. Um, I'm not really out here to like start a career or anything. I just kind of made this channel for fun so that I can really like as like an educated computer enthusiast, I can kind of inform the not that people who aren't that much of enthusiasts out there, like kind of like what's going on behind the scenes in the gaming industry specifically, because you guys don't care about anything else. And yeah, I also do play some games. Planning to do that on Twitch a little bit, but yeah, I also upload pretty frequently. So yeah. Um, so yeah, just keep watching this series, and guess we'll see you soon. Got anything else to say?
No, that's about the gist of it.
All right. So yeah, definitely tune in for next time, and we'll see you at like later today sometime. I don't know.